Hey, Paul, guess what? I know we've only done, what, one game review at the time of recording this, but fuck it, we're branching out. We're doing movies now, we're doing series now, we're even doing documentaries, and that's where we get started. Today, we're starting off with a weird one. Harriet put this on Disney Plus yesterday. I thought, you know what? We'll give it a go. I watched Finding Michael, and it was fine. I think it was fine. It follows that guy from Made in Chelsea. He's looking for his dead brother who climbed Mount Everest back in 1999, and he died. Very tragic. So, before we get into the nitty gritty of it, just a quick disclaimer. Never watched Made in Chelsea. I've seen clips, I've seen more than enough clips to realise it's just not for me. There's no amount of money you could pay me to watch it unironically, but then there's the issue right there. Straight off the bat, it feels like you're watching a Made in Chelsea special. Everything, straight from the offset, it feels fake, it feels cheap, it feels really, really scripted. And, you know, it brings me no joy in saying that, because, look, it's a delicate and sensitive subject. It's about a dead guy on Mount Everest. We just want to bring his body back. It should probably be treated as sensitive material, right? But it's just not. I don't know why. Maybe Spencer and his family were just so used to cameras being on them all the time that they might go into a blasé persona, but I don't know. There's genuinely little to no emotion from anyone involved in this. All of this hubbub started when Spencer got an email of a dead body on Mount Everest, and the guy's like, hey, this might be your brother. And Spencer's just immediately like, you know what, that's plausible, let's go off and climb that mountain and find out. But first, off to Canada! And by the way, at no point in the entire documentary is this guy addressed. Like, the guy who sent the email, we have no idea who it is. Like, it could have been a fan, it could have been a friend, they never elaborate. I'm genuinely wondering if the email existed. But anyway, Spencer flies all the way to Canada just to have a quick word with his brother's mate who was on the expedition with him. Conveniently, he just so happens to have the exact gear he was wearing, over 10 years later, just hanging up in the front room, casual as you like. Like, I get it. If he goes mountain climbing a lot, it's gonna be somewhere you're gonna have it. But if you go mountain climbing that much, surely you change your gear more than once a decade. I don't know. Anyway, Spencer shows him that email, and the guy's just like, yeah, you know what? It might be him. He was wearing a red suit, just like the one hanging up in this front room here. I mean, he just flies to Nepal. That entire segment could have been a quick email. Hello, friend. Do you think this dead body might be Michael? Probably, LOL. Done. That's all we have to do. Anyway, off we go to Nepal, and at this point, the show starts to take an upwards trajectory. Oh, by the way, before we begin, Bear Grylls is in this for like 30 seconds where he says, oh, I climbed Mount Everest, I was the youngest person to do so, but it should have been your brother, because he's swell. And that's the last we see of Bear Grylls in that show. Anyway, so off we go to Nepal, and this is where things go up. We get some lovely shots in Nepal, we get some lovely shots of the landscape. The cinematography is really cool. We do this nice sort of section where we change the aspect ratio to the footage that was taken back in 1999 from the home videos. It's genuinely quite fascinating stuff. So I think, okay, well, we're getting into this now, it's getting good. But then, it falls off a cliff. No pun intended, by the way. Not even 5 minutes into Spencer getting into Nepal, he shows the Sherpas the picture of this dead body, and just straight up, they're like, nah, that's an Indian person. Again, it all could have been done by email, saved from the hassle. But fuck it, we're here now, we've got a documentary to make. And this is where things take a humongous nosedive. And it's a frustrating nosedive at that. Because the documentary, it's showing you what it could be. It's showing you that it could be good. But unfortunately, it's just got these undertones of a rich person with main character syndrome. These Sherpas, we take a death-defying voyage up one of the most dangerous landscapes in the history of the entire world. We watch from abseil of what's effectively a vertical block of ice. We see them chip away the ice off at least 3 corpses. It makes for morbid, albeit fascinating TV. I didn't mind it. But then it's ruined because every 30 seconds or so we shoot back to Spencer Matthews looking angry at a walkie-talkie or angry at the Sherpas thousands of miles above him effectively in the sky because he can't find his brother. Bam! Back to the Sherpas. We watch them tackle the absolute worst elements, sub-zero temperatures, the fear of death at every potential misstep. Then bam, back to Spencer Matthews, living in a literal bubble, surrounded by the poor people in tents, reminded the Sherpas and the audience that every 5 minutes he's got a nice shiny Rolex on, and then he effectively makes them promise him personally they've done everything they can. I will admit, we do get a bittersweet ending. I won't ruin it. If you want to watch it, absolutely watch it. The ending is nice. It's lovely, it's bittersweet, bit melancholy. I won't ruin it if you're looking to watch it. And I genuinely, this is the frustrating thing, I genuinely believe it could have been a really good documentary if we just completely cut the Matthews family out of it entirely. Have the show revolve around these guys looking for the actual dead bodies on Everest. We didn't even get a single interview with the recovery team. Just throw us a little bit of insight of what it means to put yourself through physical and mental danger for the sake of getting a body back to its family, as opposed to an interview with some person who didn't even climb the mountain. They was the wife of someone that climbed the mountain. I'm sorry, but who cares what you have to say on the mountain? Actually, let the experienced people talk about the dangers of the mountain. Initially, I gave it a 5 out of 10. It was a bit self-indulgent, slightly pompous, but at least it had some nice cinematography. I learned a few things I never knew about Everest, and it really highlighted the actual dangers of Mount Everest. That was it. 5 out of 10. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day. But then I looked a little bit further into the case, and I just so happened across an old article, I think it's from The Independent, from 2002, in which the Matthews family tried to sue the Sherpas for Michael's death. What the fuck? So we're having a quick look at the article itself. Just looking at a few excerpts from the article itself here. I'll put a link in the description if you want to read it yourself. John Tinker, the expedition leader, is being sued along similar lines, as is Michael Smith, the guide, and Henry Trott, who is not a member of the expedition, but supplied it with bottled oxygen systems. These are allegedly to have been defective, and Matthews' family believes this proved fatal for him. Very sorry, but they addressed this in the show. One of the guys quite literally realised that this shit was getting way too dangerous for him, and he did the smart thing and backed the fuck out of there. The writ alleges that prior to the summit attempt, Matthews had shown few signs of illness or exhaustion, but on the summit day itself he became the slowest in the group. According to the writ, a Sherpa told him to go back to Camp 4, but the climb leader and other professional guiders allowed him to continue his attempt. Effectively, Matthew was explicitly told to go back, but straight up refused. Not only did he plan to go ahead with this already dangerous situation, but upon being presented with more danger, he took it as what? An endurance challenge? David Matthews believes more could have been done to save his son, and says there were 35 Sherpas on the expedition, most of whom were expert high altitude climbers. Had Michael died from a climbing accident, we'd have no complaints. Cheers, Dad. He said, but companies charging these fees to take clients to dangerous places must ensure they do everything possible to protect their safety. So in essence, what we're hearing here, my son fucked it up, it's your job to pick up its mess. Years later, that premise is made into an entire documentary. You could retitle the show, Rich People Refuse to Take Responsibility for Their Actions, and just be done with the whole thing. Now look, I get it, I really do, it's a tragedy, but it's a situation in which you have to accept there's a big chance of a tragedy occurring. Someone that drinks and drives, they're an idiot, because not only are they a danger to themselves, but other people. That's fair, you can't argue that, but some fellow climbs a mountain, gets told multiple times that it's only getting more and more dangerous, but still wants to progress anyway, he dies. And the family expect 35 fucking people to risk their life for him. Fuck off. Want to watch it? Good on you. And you know what? Maybe you'll display a little bit more empathy than I do. But the whole thing seems mucky to me. Now, make a documentary about the Sherpas going up the mountain, finding different bodies, bringing those bodies back to the family. Have Disney Plus fund it. Someone's already funded this to a rich person. Fund it to the people that need it. So, just do that. It'll be sorted then. But until then, it's a 3 out of 10. But thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Bye.